This is part 3?
Part 3.
Part 3 in our 6-part Pee Wee Herman review.
Yeah.
And today we are reviewing Big Top Pee Wee, 1988, follow-up to the smash hit Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Surprisingly, it only got like a 4.9 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it was kind of the bastard child of Pee Wee Herman, of the Pee Wee Herman
character movies.
Yeah.
And as we were watching the beginning of this, I was like, yeah, that's why I never watched this whole movie. Because it was just too ridiculous. Like 5 minutes into it, it was just way too ridiculous. 10 minutes into it, whatever. And I quit. But I pushed through. And it's entertaining. I could see that it's not, why it's not as popular as some of the other of his films.
You know, it kind of goes a different direction in a lot of ways, but the main way is the innocent, childlike nature of his character is lost in this one.
Mm-hmm. It's like he grew up.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like he has grown up.
Yeah. It's very much like Pee Wee Herman wanted to take all the innuendos that he put in all of his other work and like, no, let's not be so subtle.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie is not subtle at all.
I'm liking to think of that this is a continuation of the other story, where after he got famous for his Big Adventure and the movie that was made from it, he decided to leave wherever sleepy town that he lived in and move to the country and open a farm and become a scientific agro scientist, or whatever it's that they called.
Yeah, it was
agricultural sciences.
He was an agriculturalist, and apparently he went to agriculture junior college,
yep.
Which is totally a thing.
Totally, yeah. His hero is George Washington Carver.
Yeah.
Now,
and I can almost see that in the Pee Wee Herman character, that he would choose him. And and it's been 3 years since the last movie, so he could have gone to an agricultural junior college.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have just had a predilection for this and just been a genius at it. So, I mean, time-wise, it almost would match.
Yep.
Kind of.
But, so yeah, he's a farmer now. And
with a talking pig. Sorry. With a talking pig.
Which, yeah.
As his pet.
I mean, as his partner. As his agricultural sciences partner. You know, I'll put that aside.
Really?
I'll put that aside. It's very Pee Wee fashion. Like, all his animals have beds and their own little rooms in the barn. The goat, which I swear was like the representation of Satan. I'm sorry, that was a Satan goat.
Yeah.
Only thing that was missing was a pointed beard.
Yeah. He had some serious horns on him.
Uh-huh.
Impressive.
Some impressively horns. But, like, he had a TV in his stall. Whereas Pee Wee didn't have a TV in his house, but the goat had a TV in the stall.
Yep.
Basic story: he's a farmer. A big storm comes through and blows a circus into his backyard.
And he's living in a town where nobody likes him, but he's engaged
to the one person that's actual young. One young person. I think everybody that's in that town is like old balls, and just that town is dying.
Yeah, and it's the school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course.
And it's and we need to say that like he must have like mastered like time travel or something. 'Cause it's like he went back to the 40s. It seems almost
Yeah, it's a very quaint little.
Western town.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's almost, it's a town that you would see in like, shit, I don't even know, small town Pennsylvania or something.
I don't know, but it's very
You know.
it's very turn of the century with a few modern touches,
Yes.
like Cars.
Yeah.
But I literally, I think this show could have taken place like in the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah. And so I mean, good performances. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a really weird movie, and there's something I want to talk about in just a little bit, an overlining theme that I've noticed in it. But what did you have to say about the oh so subtle scene in the trailer?
Well,
Oh, not trailer, but whatever that was.
it was a trailer, yeah. Pee-wee finally gets laid. And like I said, the innocence of the stage show and Pee-wee's Big Adventure is gone in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost kind of a sex fiend in it. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean he keeps on trying to get with his fiance in front of her school kids.
Yeah. But he's grown up. I mean,
Yeah.
he's actually grown up. He went to college. He's grown up. He's past his innocent childhood.
Mm-hmm.
His bike is the only thing that's important.
Yeah, there was really no subtlety after that fact. I mean, the montage that we get afterward is a train going into a tunnel, fireworks, lava, water splashing on rocks, and I don't remember what the last thing was. There was 5 things, but I mean, just like, do you want to try to be any more obvious?
That
Yeah, and can I just say, I don't know how Pee Wee Herman struck some sort of lottery or whatever, because he honestly, in a period of 2 movies, he was either dating or engaged or in love with 3 of my childhood crushes. 3 of them. E.G. Daly and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which I remember from Dutch, and obviously Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
mm-hmm.
and then her voice was, I mean, the voice of the 90s cartoons. And this one, he's engaged to Penelope Ann Miller, who was the teacher in Kindergarten Cop. That's who I know her from.
Yeah.
And, oh, so beautiful. And then he finally, actually falls in love with one of my biggest childhood crushes, right behind, like, Christina Ricci. And that's Valaria Gulino from Hot Shots Part 1 and 2, Escape from New York, just different random stuff.
Rain Man.
Rain Man, yes, Rain Man.
And actually, it's saying introducing her, so I think this was her first American movie. That and Rain Man came out about the same time, but she'd been doing a lot of stuff in Italy.
Yeah.
But this is her first. This is one of, if not her very first American movie.
Yeah. And oh god, she's just,
Yeah, there was no
even
subtlety.
now.
There was no subtlety because they were riding down on the elephant, and I was like, Pee-wee, you're so close to both second and third. Just
Right?
steal a base, damn.
And she's in crop top shirts and shorts and skirts the whole movie. It's really just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you don't like Pee-wee, you should just watch the movie just for the fact that Valaria Gulino is walking around half naked the whole movie. I mean,
And not in like
honestly.
in a sexual way or anything. It was just.
She's an acrobat. She's wearing acrobat type clothing.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, and a let's see, an outstanding performance by Dustin Diamond.
Yes.
Dustin Diamond is in this movie.
I think he had one line. Did he even have a line?
I don't know if he even had a line,
But he was there.
he was there.
It's his first TV movie, and this was also not TV, movie. This was also the very first movie appearance of Benicio Del Toro.
As the dog boy.
Yep. He had been in a couple of TV shows before, but this was his first movie appearance, and he was 21 in it. He got started a little late.
Yeah, he was pretty young.
Mm.
He didn't have that grizzled look that he has now.
Yep.
So,
And Chris Christopherson.
Yep.
I mean,
as the ring keeper, or the ringleader.
Chris Christopherson is in this. How does that even happen?
I don't know.
But I mean, Pee Wee was everywhere in the 80s. He was able to get a cast like this, you know?
For a subpar movie.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I hate to say it was a subpar movie.
It was. It really was. It was not as good as Big Adventure. I liked it.
It's a typical sophomore example of a sophomore film.
And you know, when we did the review of The Stage Show and Big Adventure, one of my big things that I kept on saying throughout the reviews was, it's such a sense of innocence throughout the character, and that's true. But it was such a shock to me because I didn't really see those until after I saw this. I saw this when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any of the other stuff until really later. You know, I mean, I was probably 24 the first time I watched any of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I never saw all of it until we did the review. I had only seen bits and pieces of it. So, and I didn't remember the Pee Wee Herman show that well. So my real base knowledge of what Pee Wee was this, which is a little bit more adult.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I didn't have that. And that's what threw me off about all of it. Because I'm like, this is so different from what I'm used to seeing for Pee Wee. What I remember.
Right.
I didn't remember a lot of this movie, but I remember the town that was out of time, and there was a farm, and there was sex and adult stuff.
Yep.
Even the pig gets laid.
Yeah, with a hippopotamus.
Which I'm pretty sure is impossible. Biologically and physically impossible.
Well, if an elephant can make love to a pig.
I think that is more of a possibility than a hippo.
What I want to discuss is the blatantly subtle discrimination and racism in this movie. Not maybe racism is the wrong term, but because it's not as like a person of one color, but it's like definitely just has some discriminatory overtones.
Oh, very much so.
Undertones, because like smack you in the face basically. And this is another reason why I think that it's set in the 50s is because the attitudes toward the circus folk.
Mm-hmm.
They are not welcome at all in this town. The four Italian brothers tried to go into the grocery store and buy supplies that they need, stuff like twine and oatmeal and tomato soup and just simple stuff. And they say, no, we don't have any of this. It's all right, but it's all right there on the shelf. We're closed. Go away.
Yeah.
It's very discriminatory towards them, and like the freaks, the quote-unquote freaks,
Mm-hmm.
Which include Dog Boy, the
Bearded Ladies, Siamese Twins, Mermaid,
and the
which obviously wasn't at the thing. Yeah, the hermaphrodite. Can we talk about that scene for a sec? Just for a quick sec. They can never get away with that scene if they try to make this movie like this today.
No.
Because no, they could never use that term, first off, because that term really isn't used anymore, I don't think.
Right.
And they called this character Shem
Yeah.
and said that he could marry himself, or that however they put it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, yeah, no, that you could never get away with that.
It's one of those
Anymore?
But yeah,
But it was 80s.
It was 80s, and it's one of those.
You know?
It's like the Ebony and Ivory type thing. It's half man, half woman, but it's divided right down the middle.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was kind of funny the way that they did it, because they made it so outlandish in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, and it's not until like Pee-wee feeds them genetically engineered cocktail weenies that all the old people turn into young people and like get over their prejudices and their discriminatory ways and attitudes towards the circus to actually enjoy it, and everything ends up a happy ending.
Did it end up a happy ending? Can we talk? Are we to the ending? Can I talk about that? Because
Yeah,
I do have something.
Go ahead and talk to the ending. We'll wrap it up with the ending.
First off, those cocktail weenies were growing on a tree. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
He created a hot dog tree. Just, yeah. Let's see. The only reason why they were cocktail weenies is because he mixed up a solution because, he had gotten laid. And the solution that he poured onto his hot dog tree shrunk them instead of making them bigger, which is what he was going for. Because, of course, he wanted them to be bigger.
Yeah, because he was trying to, the whole thing he's trying to do is he's trying to genetically engineer a formula to grow vegetables large enough where people would never run out of food.
Yeah.
He had lofty, he had good intentions.
Yes.
But in his post-coital bliss, he messed up the formula.
Yeah. And so he feeds these cocktail weenies to the adults, and because of the formula that he put on them, it made them shrink. And apparently, he knew that was going to happen. That was apparently his plan the whole time. So, A, what would have happened with all the other food? Would it have made everybody bigger? And B, the end of the movie just ends with them at the circus. It doesn't say anything about changing those kids back.
No.
Is he just going to leave them children? And then leave the town? Because he's going to leave the town with the circus.
Yeah. He's going to sell
his
this
farm. So here is my thoughts. Here's what's going on. A small farming community that's stuck out of time. And it's filled with nothing but children. This could easily take place in Iowa.
Yep. Man,
this is a prequel to Children of the Corn.
It is.
And the timeline's right, because Children of the Corn came out in 1989.
So, thank you, Pee-wee. You were a genius. Paul Rubin, you are a genius, by the way. It's happy for him.
Dustin Diamond could be Malachi. Or Eli.
He gets the girl. Him and his fiance can be in the same room as each other.
By the way, his fiance ended up getting engaged to all 4 of those Italian brothers.
And Pee-wee hooks up with the one Italian sister.
So they're all gonna be related.
And they're all gonna be a family together.
That's not weird.
At all. So join us next time as we review Pee-wee's Christmas special.
Mhm.
And yes, we are just cutting it off there, just so you can have your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Comment on the video what you think. Put comments when we post it to Facebook on what you think about the ending of this.
You guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us through this. We're halfway through.
Yep.
We've got Christmas special. We've got the Broadway show, and then finally the new one on Netflix. And we are going to be reviewing the Broadway show because it is on HBO, and I have HBO now.
You now have HBO now.
Yeah, thank you. That
At least for the next,
couple months.
at least for the next eight weeks.
Yeah.
At least. So we're gonna have to finish this up within 8 weeks.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for those. And if you have any suggestions about what we should do after this, I have a couple of ideas already, but we'll take them. I mean, you want to see us review something, tell us what it is. We'll find it somewhere.
Yep.
I mean, if
We have
it's
it.
out there in any way, we'll find it. And we'll review it.
The internet is a great thing.
Yeah. I mean, between the 3 or 4 different streaming services we have and Movie Training Company, we can find any movie.
Yep.
So let us know what you want us to watch and talk about, and we'll review it. That's it.
Blessed be. Bye.